I took care of my parents' every need while they aged smoothly for 5 years while they lived with me. From time to time, my brothers would step in and help, giving me short breaks. The benefits of giving them care around the clock were huge, but the challenges were huge as well. But as time went on, it became very clear that we could no longer care for them at home because their needs were too great. So we chose to move them to a well-known care center to spend their last days. During those last few weeks, Mom and Dad rarely had time to themselves. There were family members there all the time, even late at night when my sister stayed with them. With the inevitable background of their trip to the end, every moment they shared was filled with deep meaning. Being close to them during this time gave me an unplanned chance to learn more about the subtleties of the dying process. After having my own near-death experience, which was caused by a severe allergic reaction, I briefly lost touch with my physical self and saw what looked like a place beyond this world. This deep experience made me want to write a book about it, which I started doing while taking care of my parents. To my surprise, my story brought them peace and gave them hope that there is life after death. They felt strongly about this view, which made them more willing to talk about their own spiritual experiences as they got closer to death. Their willingness to let me share these insights made me even more sure that this shared knowledge could help people going through similar problems. Then I got the shocking news that my dad was going to die soon while I was traveling abroad. Something stable that I used to hold on to seemed to fall apart in an instant. Both Mom and Dad seemed pretty healthy for their ages when I left. Mom was almost 91 years old. Still, everything changed in what seemed like an instant. I suddenly realized how hard it would be to plan a trip across foreign borders, and I had to deal with the harsh realities of time and distance. Mom's soothing words kept playing over and over in my head, telling me to put off my return because they had chosen to keep a solemn watch until Dad's death. I remembered a vague chat I had with my dad months before in which he hinted that he was leaving before Mom did, not being able to help but wonder if he had already caught a glimpse of the ethereal world that was waiting for him. When he said he saw two ghostly forms, maybe two doctors talking to each other, it suggested a dimension beyond the physical world. During those times of doubt, he may have been linked to something we couldn't understand. By some miracle, I was able to get a last-minute flight and arrived in Denver feeling rushed. My sister's urgent text sent me racing toward the facility where Dad was lying. They were a sad reminder of how quickly time goes by. We moved with the shared goal of being there for Dad's last hours, even though it was getting darker outside and inside. As night fell, Dad's face was serenely quiet, which was very different from the turmoil going on inside his weak body. It almost felt sacrilegious to decide to take a short break in the face of how serious things were. Still, the weight of 17 hours of travel and a long night filled with the fear of losing everything was almost too much to bear. In the middle of my disturbed sleep, a seemingly unimportant urge woke me up. As if pushed by an unseen force, I grabbed my phone, feeling a strong urge to record the fleeting moments that are slipping away from us. I didn't know at the time that these moments would record the last part of Dad's trip on Earth, his final breath that marked his passage from this world to the next. Thinking about those moving records made their meaning clear in hindsight. In those last few minutes, there were no obvious signs of trouble. Dad's exit was marked by an eerie calm. After that, there was a deep, beautiful silence that reflected the delicate change from life to whatever lies beyond. I kept an eye on his breath, hoping it would come back, but it never did. The emptiness there was so strong that the hope for life to begin again faded into nothingness. Even though there is a longer, more detailed report, I'll save you the trouble and give you this shorter one instead. When you look very closely at the first few frames of the video, you can see a fleeting, ethereal event. A bright blue essence leaving his body and moving to the right. This fleeting appearance needs close attention since it could disappear with a blink. Some people think that once you see it, you will always remember its presence. Looking at the video again at a much slower speed, almost a tenth of its original speed, gives a clearer picture of this ghostly being. Take a look at how its path has changed slightly. It now goes clearly to the left. The real path of Dad's spirit is shown by this careful examination. The comparison to a spinning tire is a good one. A fast turn gives the impression of unclear direction, which clears up when you look more closely. Dad's spirit left as quickly as a breeze, and it seemed to be going in only one direction, to Mom, who would always be with him. Look at the kaleidoscope of colors filling the air in the slowed-down video. This shows that the spiritual energy is moving over Dad's clothes and bed as it moves to the left. This energy goes deeper into the atmosphere than just reflecting off the surface. Were you not amazed by what you saw? My father, who is always honest and dependable, backs up this visual evidence from a passage from life on earth to the spiritual world, which we might even call heaven. In their permanent deal, Mom and Dad said they would go to heaven together. When Mom's time on earth came to an end 9 days later, her last look was on Dad. She called his name, Dick, and asked if she could see him. She talked to him with a big smile on her face as if she didn't know we were there. She even talked about a mysterious thing he had that she couldn't fully explain. I'm still fascinated by the secret of Dad's mysterious possession. I can't believe that divine providence and Dad's kindness made it possible for me to record this event on film. This video not only adds to the story of my writing, but it also connects with Bible verses like 2 Corinthians 5-4-5, which talk about our desire for eternal life. These frames offer comfort and reassurance by proving that life goes on beyond the limits of this world. Thanks.